Okay. Let's get this party started. Let's see. Waiting for my special guest, Jessica Cage. Oh, there she is. Hey, I'm getting ready to add you right now. As soon as I can figure out how to post this. There we go. All right. Sending you a request to join me now. There you
I am. Hi.
are. How are you? How are you doing?
Great. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. I can't complain. I was just on live about an hour ago with another author, and so oh my god, I put out so much energy that I was like, okay, let me get a bite to eat. I got
Yeah.
my I got my tea right here,
There you
and
go.
so I feel a little bit better, so I'm ready to go. I'm excited about talking to you today.
Awesome.
So,
Thank you for having me. This is my first Instagram live, so I was like, I don't know what I'm
oh,
doing.
oh,
Hopefully
okay.
I
Well,
can
this should
do
be
it.
fun. This should be a lot of fun. Cool. Well, I mean, you got on with no problem, and so I know we just barely talked about it a second ago.
Yeah.
So my bad. I should have gave you a heads up about that.
No, it's fine. I was like, wait, it had just realized like I've never done Instagram live. Like, let me make sure I can get this done correctly.
Yeah, it's so funny. Since quarantine, I started doing these, and people love it. I mean, I feel like everybody, if you looked, like everybody was like getting on live and stuff. Like right now is a really good time, and so
Absolutely.
yeah, here we are. I've only been doing this, like I said, maybe 2 months.
Okay.
Recently this for like maybe a month and a half. Yeah, and so far so good.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, well, hey, so let me tell you what caught my eye about your book are the covers. And I think we're in a Facebook group together or something. And
Hmm.
I think you posted that your sixth book is out and you posted the cover. And literally, I had to like get my jaw up off the floor because I was like, dang, that, what? And a black woman wrote that? What? Like, let me, I got to get in your business. So
Yes.
people don't know who you are. Maybe introduce yourself. What's your name? And then let's talk about your book.
Okay, so my name is Jessica Cage. No relation to the comic book characters, please and thank you. I get
Okay.
that a lot. I am from Chicago, Illinois. I grew up, this is my hometown, and I'm still here. I grew up in a home that was full of fantasy and books. My mother was sci-fi fantasy queen, and then my grandmother was the book nerd. So when I grew up, I just kind of blended those two sides together. And I decided to write stories that feature what I thought the stories I took in as a young girl were missing, and that strong characters of color. So, as you said, my books have powerful,
Yeah.
magical beings that are dripping with melanin, and I'm just so happy that the world is accepting these stories and enjoying them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And that is wonderful. Dang, I gotta get a background like that. Wait a minute. I think okay. All right. I see what you're doing there. I love
Well,
it.
so this is my event banner that travels the world with me when I go do signings and stuff. And because I have been, in the house, I'm like, well, it looks so
Yeah.
good. So anytime I do a live or whatever, I'm pulling this out. Like it just looks too good for no one to see it right now. So
Yeah, that is smart. So definitely, if you're an author, take note, because that's funny. Different people that I talk to, yeah, they've been having trouble, just getting the word out there and marketing. And so I feel like this was a need. I seen people in other industries doing Instagram lives, and I was like, oh, I could definitely do this. I also have an authors podcast that I do seasonally, and so I definitely want you to come back on. I'll be looking for authors again in October, and that's just over the phone. No, really
perfect.
face to face. Yeah, and so it's a little bit different medium, but I like this. I like being able to look at people and talk to them and interact. And so this is really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So how did your journey as an author begin?
So I've always been a writer, and I think a lot of authors will say that. From the time I was a little girl, I used to compete in young author competitions, and but as I got older, I stopped wanting other people to read my stuff. The only person who read my books was my grandmother, and I would fill notebooks full of stories, and she was the only person who would read
Right.
it. For some reason, there was this fear of being like judged and people seeing my work. But then when I was pregnant 10 years ago, wow, I'm going to have a 10-year-old in a month.
Oh, wow.
Um, I was laying there and I put me on bed rest because I was high risk. And I'm sitting there and I keep thinking, how am I going to inspire my son? Because I'm like, I want him to live this great, phenomenal life. But I also felt like I needed to lead by example. And I'm like, I was,
Mhm.
working the 9 to 5 and making money or whatever, but I wasn't following my dreams. I didn't feel fulfilled from, what I spent my days doing most time.
Mhm.
Um, so I decided to go back to my first love, which was just creating stories. And on bed rest, I wrote my first novel, which was a story about a alien race of vampires who came here from a different universe. And that's where it all started. Me sitting in my bed at home, trying to inspire my son to be something great. But then it also came from me wanting to, again, create those stories for young, versions of myself who just want to see themselves represented in the pages.
Interesting. So how do you even come up with that storyline? What did you say? Aliens and what? Where do you get it
Well,
from? Because you watch a lot of sci-fi. I know you said you grew up around it. Did that like help or because I'm gonna tell you right now, I could never. I'd be so lost as to how to describe like the scenes. I don't know.
it's weird. A lot of my story just kind of hit me. I'll be like just living my life and I'll have a random idea. And then
Mhm.
what I tell people is that I think that storylines are energy, like anything else in the universe. And you get hit with this wave of energy. And if you don't grab hold to it and make it your own, it's going to go on to someone else. So I feel like I get this
Mhm.
energy. And then as I start writing, I don't feel like I'm creating the world myself. I feel like I'm watching someone else's lives and just like following them in the shadows, like, oh, that's what you're going to do.
Oh
And I
wow.
get just as angry at characters and just as surprised at moments. And then after I do that, I have to go back and, of course, make it something that other people can read and make sense of because it's not always
Mhm.
coherent when I'm finished tracking them down. Um, but yeah, everything is inspired by my childhood. Like my mother
Oh wow.
has the greatest imagination, even though she she tells us she doesn't. Her imagination
Mhm.
is insane. She used to take scribbles. She would have me scribble on a piece of paper, and then she would take it away and come back with this big mosaic image that I would have never been able to piece together. So I definitely accredit a lot of that to my mother, just her mind, how it works to pull these images together. I feel like mine does the same thing, but with books.
Wow, that is amazing. You have a fan here that says Jessica Cage is my favorite author. Woo!
Oh,
Okay, Eddie. That's so sweet. Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. Cool. Uh-oh, what happened? Oh, okay. Sorry, the comments and stuff were going up. Awesome. Okay. So then let's see. Did you self-publish your book or did you publish through a publisher?
I am self-published.
Okay.
I like the idea of getting in it and learning and making those connections. I feel like in the self-published community is just such a big family, and people
Mhm.
are so willing to help you. Now, I have to admit that I was not always the person to ask for help or to be willing to receive that help, which is why
Okay.
the beginning of my career was full of just so many mistakes.
Oh
But
man.
once I embraced the community, it's like there's so much to learn, and people are so willing to help
Mhm.
you and help you drive it forward. And I'm a do it yourself type of girl. I love hands on. So I think self publishing was definitely the right path for me.
Yeah, yeah, and that's so funny what you just said, asking for help. The last live that I was on was with a lady. I had started talking to her like 2 years ago about
Mhm.
writing a book, and she just published it in April. And
Wow.
so it was 2 years of coming, but she definitely was like, it's hard to speak up, you know. And so, just if anybody out there wants to be an author and you're not really sure, ask for help.
You
If
have
one,
to.
if there's one thing that I know, especially from doing these lives, is people really love talking about themselves. And so, if you ask somebody for help and they shut you down, I don't know. I don't know. Ask somebody else, because there's
And I think
definitely
there
people
are
out
people
there.
who aren't as willing to help you. Some people are like they have their information and they're hold it tight to their chest. But I don't
Yeah.
think that's the majority. I think that the majority of people they learned it from somewhere else and they're more than, happy to pass along the information.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I agree. So what challenges then have you faced as a self-published author?
The biggest challenge is having books that have, characters of color on the front.
Mhm.
And I've been facing that since the beginning, but I was adamant to
Wow.
represent my characters as true as possible. I want stories with, like I said, powerful characters of color. And
Mhm.
I had been, people have hinted like, if you just put a book out with an apple on the front, it'll sell a lot. And I think that staying true to my message is the most important thing to me. So
Yeah.
that has been a struggle, but I have to admit that in the recent like 2 years or so, ever since Black Panther kind of hit
Okay.
the atmosphere, I've seen that change and I've seen readers actively looking for that material, which is great for me
Yeah.
because I have a big catalog waiting for them. But outside of that, I would say finding an editor that I love and can work with and actually
Mhm.
helps me get better. When I first started, my first editor, I love her to death, don't get me wrong, was my cousin. And she
Mhm.
wasn't an editor. She like took some English classes in college and, she helped me
Yeah.
make it look better. But my actual first professional editor came to me after finding my book. She's like, I love this book, but who edited it? Like, you need more work on it. And she
Mhm.
helped me kind of build and grow from there and, start to put together a more quality output. And ever since then, I've been like piecemealing my team together, which went from just the two of us to now 8 of us who
Wow.
put our hands on this book and try to make it as, great as possible.
Yeah. Wow, that is amazing. You mentioned two key things. One, get an editor. People, please
Yes.
get an editor. And two, piece together a team. That I think that's really important. And I think that also helps with your success if you're not just going at it alone. I think that that's a challenge for a lot of self-publishing authors is they they do every step by themselves, so even if they hire out. But that marketing piece, you need, some help
Yeah.
getting it out there and more hands on it and stuff like that. So that's kudos to you for accumulating that and having that in place. So tell us, you're on your sixth book?
No, so that is the sixth book. This is the book you were referring to, I believe.
Yeah, yes,
This
yeah,
is
yeah.
the sixth book of its series. But
Okay.
it is my 25th published book right now. So yeah.
Oh my God. In 2 years? And how
No, I've been published now for about 10 years. Yeah.
long? Okay,
Coming
okay,
up on
okay.
10
I was
years.
like, wait a minute. Come
No.
on now. Okay.
Now, there are authors who are knocking those books out, those numbers
Yeah.
like that. I am not one of them.
Okay. I was like, dang. I was feeling some type of way. Like, okay, all
No.
right. But 10 years, that's quite an accomplishment. 20, you said 25 books?
25, yeah.
21. 25. Oh my gosh. Kudos to you. Well, oh my God. So then do you have any tips that you can offer to your peers, both poets and writers?
Um, Build a community. It works. I was
Mm-hmm.
that solo, soldier out there for so long. The fear of being seen held me back for a while. But it wasn't until like about 3.5 years ago when I decided, okay, I can't do this by myself anymore. I need a team. I need a community. I have been really lucky to have followers, readers, some people who actually say that they're my fans, and I'm just like, what? Who are you talking about? Who have
Yeah.
been supporting me from day one. But when I committed to building and treating this not like a job but like as a
Mhm.
community that I'm building and sharing this world and being invested in other people as well as they are invested in me, it changed. Okay. So I'm no longer the lone soldier out here. You'll
Mhm.
see people commenting in this section talking about ACPAC. That's another one
Yeah.
of my communities that I am a part of, that I am so, excited to be a part of. It's that family, that community, that sense of being with a group really changes your outlook and helps me push through those days where I'm like, oh, I am the worst writer in the world. I can't write three
Yeah.
sentences. You push through, and having that community behind you, it gets
Yeah.
you over those humps so much better. I mean, outside of everything else, there's so many tips about, how to write and how to, publish.
Mhm.
But I think that that's probably the biggest message that I'll ever take away from my journey as an author, is that that community, that sense of belonging is so important.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, I got the chills thinking about it. That is awesome. Your friends they're going off in here.
Yeah.
25, 25. What's that? What's 25? Let us know. Oh my gosh. Okay. So where do you see yourself in 5 years? In 10 years, you've written 21 books. How about in the next 5 years? What are you gonna what can we expect from you?
I honestly have about 20 more coming out over the next
Woo!
5 years, which is insane to me. I am ramping up. And I am also in the process of, so in Chicago, I started a program where I was going out to talk to students who wanted to be writers, because I know that this is like something that's lacking in the
Mhm.
school system right now. That unfortunately got halted with the COVID and all that.
Yeah.
So I will be putting more effort into that as soon as we can actually, see people face to face again, and have those forums. But yeah, I have more books coming, more events, hopefully. It's just an
Mhm.
exciting time. I really see myself moving more so into being a full-time author, because right now I still have my day job and everything.
Yeah.
But I do see myself 5 years from now making that transition to full-time author, so that I can give my, efforts to all of those extra passions that I have.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I totally could see like your stuff becoming a movie. Just that picture behind you, I'm like, come on now, how's that not
Oh,
like a movie poster for, maybe we'll see. I think that's so tell us about the storyline then. We've been kind of dancing around it, but what are they about? What are your books about?
so this series, the Gem Rebellion series, is, I'll hold it up one more time for people out there. That's the book cover.
Mhm.
So this started out as my wonderings about what happens to the genie from the story of Aladdin, which is so weird
Wow.
because I published this the year before Will Smith announced that he was playing the genie. So I was like,
Wow.
what, Um,
Yeah.
so it's my idea of what happens to him. I'm like, eventually Aladdin dies, and he's
Mhm.
human. What happens to the
Mhm.
genie? So this is my idea. It started off just that. I've been thinking about this since I was like 9 or 10. Whenever I was like
Wow.
sitting in front of the TV, gobbling up Aladdin every 5 minutes. So I finally decided to just go for it and write the story, and it turned into this entire new world with this entire new message. And it focuses on a group of five friends who are genies. They are
Mm.
the last of their kind on Earth, and it's set 300 years into the future after humans found out that magic exists. They went
Oh
to
wow.
war with those beings and they lost. So now the new world is run by magic entirely. This series is focusing on those beings. There are no humans in the storyline. It's not about us.
Wow.
Humans are actually nearly extinct. So you have territories where they're protected, some territories where they're not so much protected. There are areas where humans are like in zoos and stuff. It's this is new world.
Oh
But it
wow.
focuses on these friends who are trying to stop a second coming apocalypse.
Mm.
And it starts with Jen, and he's our main guy, our genie. And he's like neutral. He's not, taking part in anything. He's like, I'm by myself. He thinks his wife is dead. So he's just like, I don't want no part of this. I just want to live my life and mind my business. But then he gets approached by a friend who is struggling in this new world. His people are not being treated equally. They, live underground. They don't get fresh meat. It's very, they're struggling with the inequalities that they thought they wouldn't be facing
Mm.
when humans, ran the world. Magical beings are like, we'll do this so much better. It'll be, perfect with us in charge. But now they're seeing that
Mm.
there's a lot of the same issues happening. And Mike is Jen's friend. He comes to him and he says, my people are suffering. I need your help. But Jen is like, I said I was staying neutral. I'm a man of my
Mm.
business. Mike finds out that his wife is still alive, but being held captive. And he says, the only way I'm going to help you find your wife is if you help me save my people. And that starts them
Mm.
off on this journey that expanded into 6 books now.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Wow. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Tyler Perry, whoever, somebody tag Tyler Perry, come and get this. Hey,
Yeah.
that is awesome. Okay, I'm definitely gonna have to check it out. So then, I have to ask, if you could co-author with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
LA Banks,
Okay.
100%. She is the first Black paranormal fantasy writer that I was introduced to.
Okay.
Now it's hard to say that because I have seen fantasy, but my type of fantasy paranormal, like gritty, like that
Mm.
type of work, I fell in love with her work, and
Mm.
I feel like a lot of what I do is inspired by her. Like she is a
Okay.
really big influence on me. If I could have just even a 5-minute conversation with her at this point, I would, just to tell her how influential she has been on me and a lot of my friends. And I do have a friend who met her like the year before she passed away, and
Wow.
I am forever jealous of her. Like, I hate you just a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh no.
But I would love to sit in a room with her. Her world building, her character, just as
Mm.
so much of herself that she put in these books is just so phenomenal. And I hope to be like even a quarter of the author that she was. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's wonderful. So then, what's your favorite part about being an author? After so many books, why do you keep going?
It's the readers. It's having
Okay.
people email me or message me, and tell me that my work touched them in any way, in some way, period.
Mm.
It's the
Mm.
most amazing feeling because like I told you, I didn't write for a long time because I was afraid of people touching my work, picking up my work and looking at the pages. So to see that
Mhm.
it's having a positive impact on someone's life is mind blowing. I had someone who reached out to me saying that she had recently reconnected with her father after not knowing him for a while. And my books was a part of that. Like they were reading my books together. And I'm
Oh
like,
wow.
what? Like that is so amazing. Like my mind is
Yeah.
blown. So 100% hands down, like it's the readers. I mean, being able to, like I said, my fan base was so small for a long time. And I still publish these books because it didn't matter if it was getting 100 million sales or 100 sales.
Mhm.
My passion was being fed and they were enjoying it. So I'm like, I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I love it.
Wow. Hey, this was wonderful. You guys, I didn't even know her before this. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. See what a good cover will do for you.
Listen.
People really do. And it's maybe it's terrible, maybe it's not, but people really do judge a book by its cover. And I think that,
Absolutely.
as self-published authors, take a step back and consider that. Consider if you're going to spend a lot of money, maybe put that money towards having a professional cover made.
Absolutely.
And you
And
never
I
know, it
will
could.
shout out my cover designer. Her name is Kif.
Okay.
She approached me. She's like, I want to create a cover for you. And I was like,
Wow.
okay. I've never had that happen. I'm just like, okay, girl, we'll see. And she like reached into my brain and pulled out that cover, and I was
Yeah.
like, we are friends forever. You are never getting rid of me. Like
Yeah.
this is a relationship now. We're basically married.
Oh.
And she is like, she's so amazing. I also have other designers that I work with. Christian is dope. He does another series line for me, but the one that caught your eye is Kif.
Okay. Well, you're gonna have to share her information with me, please.
Absolutely. Sometimes I don't want to. I'm like, if she gets
I
busy,
know.
I'm gonna have a problem. But I love her so much, and I want her to be prosper and have all the clients, so she can keep doing what she loves too. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Hey, this has been so much fun. Okay, so I do this with every show. I don't know if you've had a chance to watch any of them, but I play this game called Let's Rhyme. I have a wheel with words on it. I'm going to spin the wheel, and it's going to land on a word. We have to go back and forth rhyming with this one word. You cannot repeat a word that I've said or that you've said, and you can't say the same word twice.
Oh wow. Okay.
Does that make sense? Okay. So let's just try it. This first one will just be a test run, and then we'll play the best 2 out of 3 wins.
Okay.
So far, I'm winning. The score is 5-3. So maybe you can get team guess the point today. We'll see. I don't know. All right. Let's see. I have it on the floor. Okay. The word is book.
Okay. So you go first or I go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Took.
Nook.
Hook.
Hook.
I said hook.
Oh, I thought I said cook. Sorry.
Oh, no. Okay. That's okay. That was just practice round. Okay, so I'll speak up. I'll speak up so you can hear me. All right, let's spin it for real. Okay. All right, the word is size. Size. So prize.
Lies.
Cries.
Tries.
Fries.
A prize.
Dies. I don't know.
Oh, wait, is that a word?
You're making up words. That's okay. Come on.
I'm making up words. I'm an author. I can do that. Okay. Am I still going with the I?
Yeah.
Buys.
Thighs.
Arise.
Minimize.
Subsidize.
Monopolize.
Oh, wow, I thought I had that one. Apple pies.
Apple pies.
Those 2 words, does that count?
That doesn't count. It has to be 1 word.
Trying to go with your.
Should I give it to her, you guys, or should we go on to the next word? That was good. I don't think I'm gonna give it to you though. All right, I'm gonna spin it again. We have two more rounds. Let's see. Okay, so far I'm winning. I'm sorry about you guys. Maybe we need to do something else. Okay, the word is wave. W-A-V-E. So wave. Slave.
Cave.
Behave.
Concave.
Crave. Come on!
I was not ready for this.
That's okay. That's
okay.
the best. That's the best 2 out of 3.
Sorry, guys.
It's so funny. Let me tell you how I got the idea for this game. I started playing in April. April was National Poetry Month. So I was like, I'm going to talk to some poets. Surely they know how to rhyme. Surely poets rhyme all the time.
Right.
Girl, every poet that I had on, they lost. I was like, how are you guys losing? How are you losing this game?
Yeah, no. That's a game I would always lose. I know.
Yeah.
I don't know. My brain is like, what?
Oh my gosh. And so I just like to play. I think it's helpful, especially during this time when there's so much going on in the world, so much trauma. I feel like I need to laugh, and so do others. So thank you for playing with me.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that you would like to share before we wrap up?
I have so much coming in the pipeline, so follow me on IG here. Visit my website. It's jessicacage.com. I'm currently running a series of blog posts that are spotlighting um, POC, person of color, authors in fantasy. So you can read about a ton of other authors. They're all doing interviews and giving excerpts from their work. So I'm just trying to help spread the news, the word about all of us that are out here in this genre. Just writing stories about us, and I think that's amazing. So check that out on my website. It's under the blog heading, and you can learn about me and all the other authors.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, I wish you so much luck and so much success.
Yeah.
This has been fun. Thank you for your time. That's it. That's a wrap.
Thank you. This was fun.
Absolutely. Okay, so this is going to be saved on IGTV. So if anyone's just coming in, catching the intel of this, check out my IGTV. Make sure that you follow us. Click the little button up right there. And yeah, until next time, see you later.
Bye.
Bye.